What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another live stream here today. I decided to go live second day in a row. There's a lot of action in the charts and not really a big point to make a video here and edit it and all, since we might miss out on the action. So I'm going to go straight into the charts. I just want to make sure to let you guys know to also follow me over on X. Let me just take you over there. I've been posting yesterday and all the days before there, not only on the BitcoinEasy account, but also on Pat Does Crypto, my personal account. And yeah, whenever you want to catch the price action quick and see what I think about the charts and everything, just you can catch it right on there. I'm constantly updating the charts up there, so you don't have to wait for a video to come out every other day. So let's head over there right now, and I'll show you exactly what I was talking about. So let's just go here into the profile. And yesterday I posted this chart down here where you can clearly see the two scenarios that are in the books now that are likely for Bitcoin, right? We can see plan A is to find a bounce here in this area that we're in right now, where we find confluence here. This is just the daily chart, right? We find confluence here of this downsloping trend line. That is like a falling wedge that we can see here in the charts. Obviously, as you know me, I'm not very happy about just relying on patterns and diagonal lines. I like horizontal stuff. And for that, we have the Fibonacci retracement here as well. That is coming here from this part of the uptrend where we started printing higher lows and then came into this range. And there we can see we're sitting right on the 38.2, the entry level of the Fibonacci retracement. And I will show you some similarities of this bull market where we bounced off a very, very similar spot before. Then, of course, here as well, a previous demand area that we found demand in to then continue upwards from there and put in our current all-time highs. And yeah, guys, and there's a bunch of other stuff on other timeframes that we will see as well now in a second. So this obviously here, the last resort before we see here plan B, where we would then go down to the 72K to 74K area, which we spoke about a million times now as well on this channel. And I don't have to explain you, I don't think anymore, why this is the most likely area. But we'll do it anyways on the charts later when I get into trading view. So you can see here that's a likely path that we just, if we lose this here, then there's likelihood that we get a retest of that area before we then, and then you can find a better entry here in case you want to short down to the 74K area. The same is true though, is a really good spot to short here if the price gets back up to the 91, 92K area up here, where obviously we found support a lot here for over the last 3 months, right, or 4 months even, and then broke down from it. So previously really strong demand area would turn into supply area and most likely in there a good spot to get rejected. But since we're trading here within this pattern basically, there's two spots that we really have to look out for to get a rejection, and that's of course here also the downsloping resistance, which then comes in alignment with our previous high from where we broke down. So here two key spots where then obviously here the support would have to hold again. And since it isn't such a strong demand area where we have that many touch points like we did before in the previous range, this becomes here a lot softer, right? A lot not as stable of a floor that we can easily fall through here and then go test those levels down here. So ideally from a bullish perspective, what we want to see now is to see a nice formation here from a candlestick pattern indicating that we're moving up from here, just like we just starting to see on the smaller time frames, which I will get into in a second. But yeah, so this candle is obviously yesterday's daily candle. We're sitting down here somewhere, but what we want to do here is now turn this around so it looks like a shadow on the 3-day chart, and we'll get back into the range on the larger time frames. I'm going to go into the charts right now. Here you can see the live chart that we just saw on Twitter. Now you see we're exactly here in the circle area with all the support that we just looked at. And then of course the ideal scenario here is now to rally straight back up, right? To put another shadow into this box here, and then close in this range again. So our target here would be right around 91,500, somewhere around there on a daily closing basis would look extremely bullish here for Bitcoin. And this is basically it here on the daily chart. This is just a moving average that I want to look at with you guys as well, where you can see this has been a key support here throughout the bull market as well. So if we fall below it, We bounced off here to put in to get out of this range. Once we reclaimed it, you can see we rallied out of this range here. And then we want to look at two more moving averages that we have been our eyes on for the last 2-3 weeks, right? We just check exactly, is it the 20 and the 100? Yeah. So 1 and 3, we take this one out. And then you can see here, this is still the same thing. We closed now below the 100 EMA here on the daily chart. And that historically here in this bull market has indicated that we lose the current range that we were in before and look for lower price targets. So we broke out of the range. And this is something, guys, I've been telling you all along. Once we close below this, it's indication that we're losing this range and that we're going lower. I told you guys that the most likely target then below us sits right around 72K to 74K. And that will be the bottom here for this crash if this area here doesn't hold. Obviously, the most bullish scenario now here would this come into play, would be for this support area to really get us back up there, and especially back above this orange line here above 98,300. Yeah, well, that's the key level that we've been looking at for 2-3 weeks. How can I forget that number? That's where we want to close above on a daily closing basis, obviously, then to go and challenge the previous highs here in our range. So everything still looking the same. Really interesting to see if we can get this candle here to close somewhere above yesterday's close or in the area of yesterday's close, and then we would have a nice doji pattern at the bottom of the downtrend here, and then giving a strong indication as well that the price is moving back up again. A lot of long positions today obviously got flushed out after we reached this bottom area here and traded sideways there for a while. People started identifying a bounce, and that's usually when the floor gets swept, the lows get swept, and we flush everything out and put in a lower low and then go up from there. So it could be exactly in the spot right now for us that we rally up from here and at least test this area up here. And yeah, there's a bunch of one trade that I just opened on the smaller time frames here. I was shorting, closed that in the range of 86,200, and then opened a long position after we had a nice close on the hourly chart. That's now drifting over into the 4-hourly chart as well, which we're going to have a look at in a second, but I want to go into the 3-day chart first. So here obviously it's very clear to see the same areas important, the 38.2. Then we also have the 50 here on the 3-day chart laying right above us, so we want to close back above there. That's been a key support here throughout the bull market as well. So every time we fell below it so far, we went back down here to the 100. So that's what we want to avoid. But if we fall down here, then we see this area here once again, lining up with the 61.8 of this Fibonacci retracement of the current uptrend here. And then also here the 100 simple moving average on the 3-day chart. So really strong support area across the board, guys. This is like no news here. This area here, right, is the absolute strongest area for Bitcoin to find a bounce in. And the most likely scenario for Bitcoin to get a bounce here if we don't hold in the current range right now. Right? There's a lot of people now talking about bear market again and all this stuff, but you have to understand that these drops are very, very normal for Bitcoin, and it's not the first time that this happens, even in this cycle, right? I mean, just look at this massive range here, where we went above the previous all-time high of 2021 of here, 69K, and then crashed back below it again here, right? And dropped from 70K almost down to 50K. So a massive drop here. If you compare to what's happening right now in the charts, it's just no difference there. You have a very similar structure here as well. If you look at the range, been trading sideways, then put in a low, and then a lower low, and then started rallying up from there, right? And this is something that we're looking for right now as well. It's just a matter of whether if it's from this area right now, and if not, of course, if you find the opportunity there, for example, on the daily chart, that this support level breaks and confirms that we confirm on a closing basis below it, or here on the 3-day chart, which obviously closes simultaneously with the daily today, then we're getting a really, really strong indication that we are going down here, especially if things stay the way they are or get even more bearish. So now let's look at the good stuff on the smaller time frames. Here we go first into the 4-hourly chart. Let me just sort that out for you guys. Here we are. And what we can see here is exactly what I was talking about, right? It looked like we're trying to put in the bottom here, started rallying up, and a lot of people were looking for the 90K area to send longs there. So a lot of fake outs here, obviously above that area. And then we broke down from there and came just below the previous lows with a nice candle that formed here as well. You can see here with a pretty long shadow to the downside. And now what we want to achieve is close back above this range here. So a 4-hourly close above 99K roughly, 89K here would give us strong indication that we're going to get to at least an underside test here. Ooh, almost closed the chart. Of an underside test here of this area between well, we have to look at the previous range low, and then the moving averages that have been holding us down, and the previous down sloping support level here. That's all coming in here in the area between 91,500 and 92,500. So very, very strong area. If we get a rejection there and breach the current lows, then we have a really strong signal here on the small time frames that we are going to drop below our current low and most likely going to that area of 74K. So keep an eye on this. Really what we want to do now here is establish a clear bottom, and at least for the smaller time frame sake here, to start building some support, we want to recapture here the area of 89K and then ideally get back over 91K and start moving sideways there, because that then looks really nice here on the larger time frames, right? If we get back above here, the 91K range, that we're back in our home base, that's how I called it for the last few weeks here on the channel. By the way, if you're new to the channel and you're enjoying this analysis, what's holding you back, guys? Get down into the good stuff here. And make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell and all that stuff, because I'm bringing out more videos. Not only Bitcoin analysis, but also some strategy videos. I posted one last week where I was looking at exactly what's happening right now, how to react when we suddenly get into a crash or a sudden trend reversal where we were moving up, right? And then the hack happened and we just had to suddenly pivot and enter from a short position into from a long position, exit that long position, or potentially even find a spot to enter a short position. So if you're interested in how to find entries and exit spots across multiple time frames, make sure to check that out on the channel. I'll show you actually. I don't know how to put that up here now, but when I post the video later, then you will be able to see it. Right? It's called Trading 101. It's I think my second or third video from the top on the channel. So make sure to check that out. Really good information in there. And now let's look also on the hour chart here, what we're forming there. Now you can see here that we're really trying in this area here. We're sending a lot of shadows down there, meaning that bears are trying to drag the price down, but we keep closing up above here, above the 87K level. And here we went down all the way to 85,500. So what we want to do now here is get back above the moving average, above the previous highs here. Basically want to start closing inside this orange box here between those two lines, and then retest these levels here and break into that range. Same thing that we just saw on the 4-hourly chart. And yeah, here's a couple of trades. I actually just went pretty aggressively, opened a long here, up on this candle close on the hourly chart, looking for the underside test here of the 91,500 area. And previously I just closed the short where I went in from when we got rejected here a bunch of times. My entry point was exactly here actually. And then I took it down here into a conservative spot where we had most touch points here in this area, right around 86,280, and closed my short position at a nice little 3%. Okay guys, I'll be sharing all these trades soon in a group on the website, so make sure to go over to BitcoinEasy.io. I actually have to show you the site right now. We have a lot of new stuff now in the crypto loop. Another feature on the website that I made a video about, my one-stop shop for my daily morning routine when it comes to crypto news and stuff. And as you can see here in a second, we have a lot of new stuff going on. So not only crypto news, we also have financial news here in the top section. The global economic calendar became a lot bigger, so it's much easier for you guys to get an overview here. And we added Crypto X feed. So here on the top section, you have all the latest tweets from our favorite news outlets on X. So you get even faster information than here up in the news section, because most of these news outlets and news channels usually post immediately on X, and then so it gives them time to write up the article or let AI write up the article and then post it. So you can catch all the action right here. Below it, we picked a couple of popular, or more than a few popular X traders as well, crypto traders. So you can catch different charts down here in this section as well, and get updated on the price action if you get bored of my analysis. And yeah, guys, and here we also added now the Fear and Greed Index. So you're always up to date with how the market is looking, right? Right in the section of the market overview, where of course you have the heat map, really bringing the heat today, looking red as hell. And then here's some of the most relevant charts: total market cap, total 1, total 2, total 3. And here an overview of all the tokens, right? You see 50 tokens less here now than the last time I looked at this with you guys. We were at way over 400, now only 360 after all these rock pulls and all the stuff that's been eliminated over in the Solana ecosystem. A really nice spot here to find overvalued and undervalued assets, crypto tokens. And here, of course, the Bitcoin indicators based on oscillators and moving averages, always giving you the information that you need across different time frames here, right? How the little bit of an overview across all the indicators and oscillators that most people use to give you an overview of what they're pointing at, bullish or bearish. And if you want to chart up something that you maybe found up in the market overview section, a new token or something that you're interested in, or even Bitcoin here, it's always set to Bitcoin on the daily chart, and you can chart it out here, fully integrated. Also available, of course, here in full screen mode. And if you want to take a snapshot for future reference or to share it on social media, you can do that right here. Right, guys, let's just head over to the charts quickly again and see what's developing. And yeah, now you know what to look out for. Ideally, we want to hold the lows here on a closing basis. Really important here. So keep an eye on this here on the hourly chart as well now. Want to get back above 87K and then here break the top. Our previous highs here right around 89,250, start closing above there, previous strong supply area here, turn it into support, and then get back up there and get the retest in the 91 to 92K area to see if we can turn that into support. And that obviously then drifts over into the larger time frames here, like the daily chart, and would start looking extremely beautiful for the bulls over there. Here, we want to see on a daily closing basis somewhere around 88,500. That would look really nice, and then shoot back up there. That would be the absolute ideal scenario here. A lot of uncertainty in the market right now, as it's usually the case when yesterday we had a huge dump, obviously. After, guys, I mean, let's go back to the chart. This is I repeated myself so many times. Over this scenario here, where I told you guys, this key moving average here, right? Let's just look at this whole scenario once again. This is why it was so important to me that we don't close inside this box here. I mean, I told you guys, once we start closing below this range here and closing below this moving average, then this range here, where we've been trading sideways, is gone, and we're looking for lower price targets. And that brought us down here. So a lot of people expected this dump here yesterday to have brought in the bottom. And whenever that uneducated money that floats around in the market goes in hard on a level, then smart money comes in, sweeps those lows, and finds a better entry. And this is just how the market works, right? And especially crypto, where there's a lot of people with a lot of money in it that really don't have a clue about trading, right? You see all these YouTubers and stuff they're making their money elsewhere, right? They've been in crypto for a long time, since I don't know, before I was there. I started back in 2016, 2017, and these guys been around before me, and and been posting stuff way before me. So obviously their accounts are much bigger and they're way more popular across all social media. And that makes their platform huge, right? Which in my opinion is, if you're not really 100% certain in what you're talking about, like price action and charts and so on, obviously trading is a thing that's open to interpretation as well. Everyone has their system. Everyone has something else that works for them. It's kind of like the gym, right? Do you go for a 5 to 8 rep range, or do you go more for a 12 to 15 rep range? What works for you is different. What do you feel confident with? What do you feel comfortable with? It's not exactly the same for everyone else. So there are a lot of different systems and a lot of different traders that utilize them, that work for them. But if you understand a bit of price action and you see a lot of this stuff that's coming from the big influencers, crypto influencers, then you understand that you have to take it with a grain of salt, that they're not exactly, that's not exactly their bread and butter, right? So better to always focus on traders. And that's why I also put a couple of here, or a few traders, actually crypto traders, that I believe that put out good content and good analysis. I put them here into the crypto loop as well. Make sure to check that out. And now let's see quickly what our confirmation areas here are across the other time frames. So you see the 3-day chart here. We want to ideally get back above the 38.2, close above 87,500. And then here above this moving average, 89K. Not so important, since this is not the most vital support. The one that's really important down here is obviously in the 61.8 area and the 74 to 72K price range. So yeah, a lot of things developing here that are looking pretty good for the short term, at least. Now we have to see if all the short term stuff drifts over into the larger time frames, and then we can see who wins the battle, right? Do the bulls take over, or do the bears fully take over, or the bulls get back in charge? The key levels here are clear: 85K, 72K to 74K. Then on a weekly closing basis, we will see each other before that, but ideally we want to get back above this range here, back into the 93 to 94K on a weekly closing basis would be extremely bullish here. Also with this massive shadow showing down here, then that would look like an absolute firework about to go off here. And then there would be nothing in our way to take out the previous highs and put in new all-time highs. And here we can see as well the key moving average for the bull markets, the 50-week SMA. If that breaks, conveniently, it's here in this key area where we have really strong support, so it's unlikely to break. But if it breaks, if we start closing below it on a weekly closing basis has always been an indication for the bull market to be over and that we're going into the bear market. I can actually show you this right now. Here, just the previous cycle, right, where we put in the summer high of 65K and then dropped down to it, bounced off it and put in the 69K. You can see we fell below it. We're between here the 100 and the 50 and ended up going down to the 200 range, which was down here. And this has been the case before as well. 2019, where we went up to 15K here. Once we closed back below it, we made our bear market low here. And the same thing here. Bounced off it, dead cat bounce, and then went down to the 200-week SMA. So the area of the 200-week SMA and the 50-month SMA so far always been the strongest bottom indicators for Bitcoin as far as popular moving averages go. Alrighty, guys. That's it for me for today. Hope you enjoyed the analysis. Make sure to go over on Twitter or X, follow me over there, BitcoinEasy.io, and Pat Does Crypto to get updates around the clock. Whenever I see something really important happening in the charts or something new forming, then I'll make sure to update you over there. And if not, yeah, I'm enjoying this live stream thing here. It makes life easier for me, gets me in touch with you guys more, and also I don't need to edit so much. I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to, even though I'm not that good yet, because I'm not been in the game for that long, but I like to, if I listen to myself back, I start editing all the uhs and ums out, and that usually takes a long time. and then the video takes a while to drop on the channel. So I think this format here is way better, that you get it live, then I can take the video out afterwards and add in all the cards and stuff that I want to add and maybe edit out or whatever. But yeah, I never edit out charts or predictions or anything. That stays, because as we know, guys, trading is not a game of certainties, it's a game of probabilities. And yeah, I would be a big asshole if I would pretend to always be right. But yeah, that's why we have risk management and all that, to make sure that we don't need to be right all the time, that we only need to be on the right side most of the time, or not even that. Right, guys, that's it for me for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Let me know what you think about it. If you prefer the videos, the edited content, or raw and live here on the live streams. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell to get notified whenever I update videos here, and introduce yourself in the comments. Let me know who you are, why you're here, who sent you here. We just got another 200 subscribers over the last few days, and you guys are not really telling me who you are. So it would be really cool if you would get down there and share some of that information. Right, guys, as always, happy trading, and see you soon.